Apparently even the most left-wing areas in the country are also far-right, we have discovered, in the Liverpool Rising that took place over the weekend, which consisted of one burnt vehicle. Not much of a rising, I'll grant you.
Yeah, but I also don't want to give Liverpool any credit.
But it's more the point that it managed to completely just make everyone in this country mad. They're like, oh my god, things are happening, instead of nothing and everything getting worse.
Things normally happen everywhere else.
Yeah. So we'll start off by mentioning, if you want a job, lotus.com, there you are. So web development. So if you're a software engineer or a web developer and you're good at that, apply. 9 to 5 in the office.
We want to hear from you.
Anyway, moving into the story itself. So we'll go for the lead-up to the reasons to explain why this happened. You may have noticed, as I have, quite a lot of paedophile hunters in the UK. I mean, stretched for work.
Yeah, I see them on Active Patriots Twitter feed quite a lot. And, well done for doing your duty, lads. But this happens a lot.
Like, they keep messaging men who are trying to have sex with children, pretending to be children, and they meet them, and they get the police around, and the police arrest them, and some of them have been sentenced. And as you can see there's some examples of some of the people who have been arrested or sentenced. Now, they're just arrested, okay, innocent until proven guilty, but they are sentenced as well. They have success stories repeatedly. And one of the things they've noticed, as you can see even being mentioned there in one of the Facebook groups, is that, hang on a tick, a lot of the people we keep catching are all boat people. Funny that. Yeah, what was legal in their home country, they keep trying to do in this country.
Adventurers have come over to try and get what they can.
And if you go to the next one, this also keeps happening to MPs who want to stand there with the refugees welcome sign.
Yes.
As you may remember.
I do remember. Lisa Nandy, refugees welcome, until they started harassing schoolgirls in her constituency. Then they're like, hang on a second, no, they have to go.
They have to go from my constituency.
Yes.
Not from the country. They're just out of sight, out of mind.
Yes.
That was her solution. And again, another one happened. This one in Liverpool here. And the girl, in this case, who's 15, was filming it. The age of consent in this country is 16, for foreigners who might not know. And this chap didn't care, by the sounds of it. I suppose we'll play the clip.
How old are you?
25.
25. I'm only 15.
Okay, good.
That's not good.
I want your husband.
No, sorry.
What's up?
You don't do this in this country. It's you go to jail if you do this.
Elise, I want.
No,
Okay.
no, you're all right. No, I'm 15.
I want.
No, no, that's weird.
Weird how he's not concerned about going to jail.
No, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
He'll get deported.
He'll get given money.
But that's not a problem because, of course, his life's not actually in risk. He's not a refugee. None of these goddamn people are from the boats. And for people who are listening, couldn't make it out, he's approaching her for sex, and then she's like, I'm 15. He says he's 25, and then says, that's okay, that's good. Yeah, not good. You nonce. One of the things to note as well, the person who uploaded that clip there, because it's the thing that started it all, that person there, Benny Hunter, is a youth worker. Describes himself as a socialist youth worker writing about borders, and is defending the whole thing.
Right, okay.
By being like, oh, this is a big nothing burger, isn't it? No, paedophilia is a kind of a big burger for the right.
Well, it should be for normal people. Like, is it? I don't.
Normal
I don't.
people are the right.
I don't. Okay, fair enough. But like, this shouldn't be political. Like, people on the left should be like, well, yeah. I mean, if this guy's impressing himself on teenage girls,
should the left be anti-paedophilia?
Well, I
feel like that ideology leads them to be pro-paedophilia.
It absolutely does. But,
so,
you know, there's a reason that the left are disgusting.
Not surprised by that. Anyway, so that happens, and you might think another day in England, another Brit Bong moment. No, locals didn't take too kindly to all this. We can load that up. This is our city. Local chaps smashing up a police van there. Scousers protecting their women and children when the state ignored them. So this is outside the hotel, which is locally known to be housing them. And so they had a night of peaceful protest where they brought their kids and had signs. Then the police abandoned this van, it's said. And so the locals, I don't know, found these tools and thought time to have a go. If we move forward, they...
So, I mean, this to me seems like profoundly left-wing activity, which I'm not surprised with Liverpool.
No, it's there's some suspicions there, but I don't think they're true, which is...
Okay.
I think this is more, well, local nonce. Police are doing nothing.
Yeah, maybe.
Let's do something, because I'm sick of this.
Yeah,
And
but we need to make it clear we disavow setting fire to police vehicles.
I do indeed think crime is illegal and bad. So you see that taking place, and the people of Liverpool are not fools. They see this all over the country, like everyone does. None of us are alone in any part of this nation. We all know this is going on constantly. It just locally happens on your doorstep once too many times, and then you have to do something. And I'm not understanding of this. If we go to the next one, there's some people mentioning that apparently it was abandoned. There's some people saying that it's left wing as well. We'll get into, but it doesn't really matter.
This is why I could believe. I mean, it seems like left-wing behaviour, doesn't it?
But it doesn't matter at all to the case, which is local paedophile. What's the responses? Well, from the authorities, it's, well, of course, we're inviting more of these people in every day as we can.
Yeah.
From the left-wing groups, it's that's not a problem for us. And from the right-wing groups who turned up, and I'm saying that in the terms of, you are now in the right, everyone in Liverpool, and we'll get into how ridiculous that statement is in a minute, because you can see the crowds, you can see them shouting nonce rats at the police there with their riot shields. And then if we go forward some more, we can see the crowd there, as Andy No has been posting, which...
the police are
some
still
people-
like, why are we protecting these foreign nonces?
because it's our job.
Yeah, but why is our job protecting foreign nonces?
Parliament have decreed this is how it
Yeah.
works. It's I
Maybe-
can't
maybe
even
it's-
actually blame the police.
Yeah, but maybe it's time to think about a different career.
Yeah, I am thinking more and more about the police who switched sides during the Gilets Jaunes protests. Go to the next one here, because Care for Cali were in the building.
Oh, were they?
For people who don't know, we've mentioned them quite a lot. They're
'Cause they're
a
a communist organisation.
charity, I'm sure, who just humanitarians. They just bring food and water to people in Cali.
They're not communists who are trying to subvert the country.
They're not trying to help as much as possible people illegally breaking into this nation and then trying to get as many of them in as possible to then destroy the country from the inside
No.
by terms of ethnic
Crazy.
replacement. No,
Crazy. Communists would never do that.
they just happened to be in the hotel. Real weird, because they're a small group. They're not like all over the country in every hotel at all times. No, they found out about local refugee being caught on camera trying to nonce on a girl, and they were like, well, we better head up.
That guy's going to need some representation and defence.
So let's click on these, because just to give you the word of what they were saying. The situation at the hotel in Knowsley, where the far right are demonstrating. Yeah, put a pin in that. The far right stuff. We are trapped in the car park. Still seems out of control. The police ran up the road outside the hotel 20 minutes ago and didn't come back. Lots of shouting.
You know the picture of the Simpsons meme where it's guys shooting at a poo, and it's like British public, foreign nonce, and then Kev Cali. No.
Yeah, literally.
Like, why?
We must defend
Why
our foreign
can't?
nonsense.
Yeah, why can't you be like, this guy did something wrong and he deserves to be arrested?
Yeah.
Like the fact that you're just like, no, he is an immigrant.
We're going to join the protests against keeping nonces in the country.
But the fact that they're like, no, any immigrant, even ones that are committing crimes, have to be defended, makes you sound like all the immigrants are essentially going to be criminal at some point.
Especially the nonces have to be protected, though.
For some reason, yeah.
Like they wouldn't make the special effort if it was someone caught, I don't know, stabbing people in Glasgow, as a Sudanese man did. No, they made a special effort for the nonces.
Yeah.
Interesting. We'll go forward just on those images because there's more of them whining that they're like the far right thugs are outside. We're very scared. Blah blah blah. You keep going just to make the point that they tweeted all night about how very scared they were of the
We're
far
still
right.
trapped in the hotel car park. Oh, thank God.
Yeah, stay there.
Yeah.
And then you might wonder as to why there's such a significant connection. Well, it turns out they might have been effing them. But I'm not joking.
Oh, yes. I remember.
This is the Daily Mail article on Cali aid workers regularly have sex with jungle migrants.
So when we're like, hey, the far left really seems to have a fetish for these foreign migrants, it's like, the far left is like, oh, God.
More ways than one.
Yeah.
If you click on this article, John, then we can see they actually quote Care for Cali in this directly. It's not some other group.
Yeah, it's actually this group.
Whistleblowers claim that some aid workers have multiple partners a day. That's what they're doing. Claire Mosley, founder of Care for Cali.
Your Honour, it was just an innocent gangbang that I happened to fall into every single day.
So these aid workers, mostly, well, all women in this case, I don't think any of the men are having gangbangs with Islamic men.
Yeah,
So-
there are no women in the camps, are there?
No, so all these women joining these groups, big sus for all of them, if you know one in your life. Anyway, they went to the Independent, Claire Mosley, representing Care for Cali, and said, quote, "At the end of the day, it isn't recognised as an official refugee camp. It's an illegal settlement.
What a technicality.
So we've got no way of forcing anyone to leave. That's the difficulty. talking about the code of conduct of not having sex with all the men,
Right.
which she is saying her group is unable to enforce on their own volunteers.
So are they saying that essentially the Cali migrant jungle was like Thailand for women?
Yes, it was. I want to have foreign fun time,
Hmm.
by the sounds of it. And so, if we go to the next article, we can see the fact that there's more of that as well. This meme is more true than you think. In case you were wondering, this is a photoshopped image, but it is a real
isn't it?
tweet from.
Thank God.
It's a real tweet from Nigel Farage. He fell for it back in the day.
Oh yeah, I can see that it is Photoshop. Yeah.
Yeah, the meme is more real than
Yeah.
anyone cares to wonder. But we'll go forward more, because the aftermath then happened, which is the non-local check marks started getting real mad. Oh, they limited their tweets. Oh no! Do you remember
What
who
was
this is?
the no? What was the tweet? Who's that?
So this is do you remember the Indian lady who was whining about everyone keeps saying she's Indian because she kept tweeting that she was Indian? Yeah, she was whining about this.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I know. I remember.
I don't know if we can get it up. I don't know if it's that interesting. Yeah, don't worry about it then. She's just whining in here, in which she's like, how horrible that the government have done this with their mean words.
Yeah, that this was the LBC presenter, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Who was complaining that everyone was like, "You're not English," and she's like, "Yeah, I know because I'm Indian, but how dare you not accept me as being English?" It's like, but you're Indian.
Stop tweeting that you're Indian then.
Yeah.
And people would stop saying you're something else. Okay, whatever.
Anyway, moving on.
We'll go to the next one, because there's also some non-local check marks. Local drag queen now, because that's the spokesman for the left.
Who's in favour? Well, foreigners and drag queens
Yeah, so foreigners and drag queens are like,
and
well,
sex tourists.
I am disgusted by how people are protesting their children being raped. So I stand with the attempted rapists.
Average behaviour.
Yeah, this drag queen here again blaming the government, the current Home Secretary, which who cares?
I love the tweet. This is what Braverman and her goons' rhetoric leads to, as if any of these people listen to Swell or Braverman.
This isn't the weirdest one though. Owen Jones came out trying to defend the KKK in response to this.
What?
Owen
Jones has got me blocked and has done for years, so I've no idea what he says.
Yeah, so Owen Jones decided to tweet, by the way, the Ku Klux Klan founding rationale was in part protect women.
Right.
Notoriously, the 1915 film Birth of a Nation popularized this narrative portraying black men as sexually threatening towards white women, striking how both the anti-trans movement and anti-migrant backlash are using the same rationale of protect women.
Right.
Isn't
No,
that-
we're actually saying protect girls, Owen.
But also,
I don't know if that's substantially different.
it's a really weird time for you to try and revive the honesty and truth of the KKK. I mean,
No. What he's trying to do is just say, look, protecting women, that's white nationalism.
Yeah, well, that's my thing. It's like, I don't like the Klan, Owen. But if you're like, well, they also protected women, why are you trying to win me over to the Klan? Like, that's a really
I'm
weird...
not voting Democrat, Owen. All right.
No, how hard you try. Woodrow Wilson was a bad man. So, not falling for the bait.
Such a strange pitch.
It's just like...
But I mean, I don't get me wrong, Owen. You know, as a misogynist, a fellow misogynist, I agree. We should worry less about protecting women.
Whatever.
But I've seen loads of people on the left going, Owen Jones is a misogynist, and now I understand why.
Yeah.
Like he's actually angry that in trying to smear the protection of women as white nationalism. I can see why they're saying he's a misogynist.
If you are truly against white nationalism, you will let children and girls be raped.
Yeah.
Really weird pitch, my friend. Go to the Guardian, his outlet, because they decided to treat far-right protesters set fire to police van, blah, blah, blah. The BBC went with something even more funny. They decided to remind us that it's all doctors and engineers inside. I'm not joking. I don't know if you can get up. There should be another tweet in there, John, from Traditional Britain Group. They have a screenshot of the BBC article in which they literally say...
Far right attack doctors and lawyers.
I've got the order wrong. If we go forward to the next one, we have David, who just has the care for Cali being far right, blah, blah, blah. And then if you go forward again, we get the doctors and lawyers. BBC, 15 arrests over the asylum seekers. Quoting locals here, a 54-year-old said he had been a teacher in Egypt.
34.
44.
Right, yeah.
And the others in the hotel included doctors and engineers.
Wow.
Every time.
Just remarkable.
Yeah. It seems that everyone who's non-English is a doctor, engineer, or teacher.
What about a scientist?
Not yet. Not yet.
No, no scientists.
It's funny how their society is 100% doctors, engineers, and teachers, and yet they're all killing each other.
How is it we end up getting the bad ones?
It's also
remarkable.
Egypt's not a war-torn country, so he shouldn't be here.
The war in Egypt.
There's
yeah.
literally no reason for him to be here. He's just, again, admitting
Hello,
he
I'm
broke
seeking asylum from what?
I have a job as a teacher.
Which pays less than benefits in England.
There we are. If you go forward, there's also more far-right rhetoric, as in like the Daily Mirror went with far-right until they realised the big oof. It's an 80% Labour area.
Yeah.
So then they deleted it from their article.
Why do you think I'm utterly contemptuous of Liverpool?
I understandable. But we'll go to the evidence of that, Wikipedia, which just has the voting data.
It's disgraceful.
80% Labour, even under Jeremy Corbyn.
Yeah.
Used to be 85. So this is the area rising up here. The far right.
Liverpool, what are you doing?
One redeeming feature of this constituency in particular, that specific one, 52% leave.
Fair enough.
So, good
But
luck.
overall, Liverpool's 58% Remain.
But if you get closer to the C, those constituencies that are even more Labour, those ones, I presume, would just let the children be raped and do nothing. So I mean, we found the one region in Liverpool that's
Well, that's probably not the only region in Liverpool that has illegal immigrants in it.
well, not the rich ones. So there's that. Yeah. But we'll go to the asylum seekers, who really should be the ones that we have our hearts and thoughts with. They're the real victims.
Are they?
Not the locals who are now having to deal with rapists from foreign lands trying to nonce their children on the regular. No. The doctors, lawyers, and engineers who have not fled a war. They're the real victims of everything.
Asylum seekers scared to go outside and can't sleep after violent riot near hotel. No, I don't think I can make a comment on that.
I'm almost in tears.
Sad.
Moving forward, we'll go to Care for Cali, who have a statement as well. They say, yesterday we went back to the hotel to visit asylum seekers to see if they were okay.
I wonder why. I wonder why he was just,
Yeah, just see if they're all right.
Looking for a hookup, were you, Care for Cali?
Oh, you got any condoms? The most common things we heard were, we just want to be safe. We haven't done anything wrong. And please can you move us? All right, number one, yes, you all broke the law by breaking into the UK illegally, so you have done something wrong. Before we even get to the ones of you who have tried to nonce on children. And this is not the only example, the one listed earlier. There's a quote we'll go through later of a guy on the radio who lives there and took part in the protest. And he said the reason he went, and he went with his kids, is because he can't have his kids walk out on their own anymore in that town because it's so constant.
Yeah.
Just trying to nonce on children. And it's like, well,
as Lisa Nandy's discovered.
Didn't have this. Have new foreign people who broke into the country illegally with no respect for the law. Funnily enough, they're all okay with paedophilia.
Yeah, weird how... And that's actually a really good point, because immigration in this country has been through the roof. Literally millions. And this has not been a complaint from legal immigrants.
No, the legal immigrants who have come here
haven't done this. It's just the boat people who've done this.
All of a sudden, the boat people who have no respect for the law, funnily enough, don't follow the law.
I mean, don't get me wrong, there are other things that the legal immigrants have done that we can talk about at length and other times.
Specifically the Pakistanis, but that's really the only one. But,
but when it comes to this sort of grooming of children, the legal immigrants generally haven't done that.
But also, I'm not letting it go that they've done nothing wrong. Like, all of you deserve 5 years in prison for breaking the borders bill.
Yeah.
This is law. It's just not being enforced. So...
Instant deportation.
15 people were arrested for all that because they burnt a police van, if you go forward. And then forward again, it's just local calling up the radio station that Martin Dubley noted, saying that they can't let their kids out anymore because they experience violence. It's going on for ages. Kids don't feel safe anymore. He also says in here that he thinks maybe it was the left-wingers who did the van, but I don't care. Nor does it matter.
And quite possible, right? But I love this quote, right? Tom from Knowsley was there. Children are scared to walk home from school. It's the parents that are worried. We vote Labour every time.
Tom.
God, it's so close. It's so close. They're like, oh.
No,
that's why this is happening.
I'm not being rude, Tom, and to everyone in Liverpool.
You voted for this.
I'm not saying vote Tory either.
Because they're the ones doing it.
They're the ones currently letting these people in.
Yeah, because they're the ones following Labour policy, Tom.
I'm saying dump all of this and get with whatever the farthest right party is standing in your area. I don't care.
Yeah, reform.
Because the farthest right party will be reform.
Yeah, exactly. Just a party that at least on paper say that they're going to actually do something about this, that aren't beholden to the interests of the Labour Party.
But the thing is, like, on your ballot, it literally will just be reform.
Yes.
And they'll be like, yeah, what if we just don't let them in and then deport them immediately? What about that? Hilarious, I know. And then we go on to the next one.
What a man can dream,
Which is some thoughts, prayers, again, from LBC about how we should all be caring about the refugees. Let's play this.
Our thoughts this morning are with the terrified refugees who have been stuck in this hotel and
Wish I had a soundboard.
privy to these, exposed to these terrible acts of violence on Friday.
Sonia,
staking people out.
where should these individuals be housed?
Freedom from Torture has been saying for a very long time that we need to see a return to community-based accommodation for refugees, people who are waiting for...
I don't know what that
asylum
means.
claims.
What is community-based? What does that mean?
Prior to the shift towards hotels and even worse accommodation like the barracks, the government used to work with local authorities and contractors to source accommodation in communities, ordinary accommodation, ordinary apartments and the like.
Completely deluded from reality.
I don't want them in my bloody communities, Tonya.
The problem in this instance is one of them tried to have sex with a child, and you're like, well, the solution to that is to put him in an apartment.
They need closer contact with the communities. For some reason.
Pure liberal nonsense.
Yeah,
It's
and
like,
this is one of the reasons I was like, look, liberalism is founded on a bunch of nonsense assumptions. And the one that Tonya has here is that all humans are the same. They're not the same, they're different, actually.
they'll just integrate. The real problem is we're not trying to integrate them. It's like, no.
Delusional nonsense.
What is legal in their country is not legal in ours, and they don't respect that because they don't respect our laws because they broke in illegally. It's not complex. What do you want?
Sonia is just totally out to lunch at this.
We'll go to the last link here, which happened yesterday, which is a bunch of Afghans have been arrested for successfully raping a girl.
Oh, this is awful.
There you go. It's Sonia. Well, shouldn't they have been in apartments with the...
If only they were more better integrated into the community.
This wouldn't have... No.
Honestly.
No. And this is exactly what I warned about as well when Afghanistan fell. One of the Afghan suspects, we've got 4 Afghan boys here. Boys. Get to that in a minute.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they are.
Was said to have carried out the attack while the
Scan the
others
teeth.
allegedly pinned her down and acted as lookouts. The boys, officially aged 14 and 16.
Oh, as long as they're officially aged.
I mean, give or take 20 years, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
We know how this works.
X-ray their teeth.
All of them came to the UK on small boats across the channel before being taken into care and placed into a school in Dover.
Mm-hmm.
You know these men who have no respect for the rule of law and come from a country where having sex with children is the norm?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's put them in a school.
Good thinking.
What a beautiful country.
What could possibly go wrong?
It's not just us as well. If we move over to the last one, just to mention, I want to give a shout out.
It's just a quick thing. We make light of this, but this is a girl's
is where
life
we live.
utterly ruined. I mean, honestly, mate, when I was in school, nothing like this happened. But I was in school before Tony Blair took over.
You didn't go to school and find the schoolboy next to you was about a foot taller and had a mustache?
No. And no one was like, look, we need a lookout so we can rape this girl.
No.
It just didn't happen.
No, it wasn't a conversation.
No.
Entirely new something we have to deal with.
Yes.
And if we go to the last one here, I just want to give a shout out to the Irish because hats off to you.
Yeah.
Not in a cool, Anyway, but in a way of like actual respect because they're all protesting. I did see people saying, why aren't the English doing this? It's like we did.
Yeah.
What do you think the EDL was? But this is good to see, and I'm glad that people are protesting noncery and saying that's bad. Although I do, of course, think that crime is illegal and therefore is also bad. If you appreciated that segment from the podcast The Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the content that's on the site, such as the Contemplation series, this one on libertarianism. If you'd like to find out what else Lotus is putting out, you can follow on Getter at lotuseaters_com on Getter. Thank you and goodbye.